on this episode of Bot vs. Con.
Welcome back, PVC fans. As always, I'm Bobby the Bot.
And I'm James the Con, and this is Bot vs. Con, where all of your voices matter.
Indeed they do, and we are back with another episode for the Devastator Wars. I'm really excited about this. James, are you?
I am. I'm very curious to see how this set stacks up. And what are we looking at today, Bobby?
Today we're going to be taking a look at Dreamstar Toys Fork Warrior or Forklift Warrior, something like that. It's their rendition of Scrapper. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Let's get into it.
This is the Devastator Wars. Make sure to subscribe and consider becoming a member.
And making his way to the show, we have Forklift Warrior. What is his name? Shovel Fighter.
You said it right. Yeah. I wish he was kind of a actual forklift, because that would be kind of unique and interesting. But it is just Forklift Warrior.
Okay. And I've seen Shovel Fighter. I've seen just DST01 or
Scrapper. Dreamstar Toys Scrapper.
Yeah, I like that better. First thoughts, I absolutely love this green. I've probably said it on the show before, pine green or this color green is like my favorite color green. This purple is amazing as well. I'm going to let you jump in here. I'm just going to spin them around while you kind of talk about what you see, what you like, what you don't like. Let's start off with what you like.
Okay, I'll do what, yeah. So what I like, I do like the colors. Like, I know I've said I'd rather have them in different colors, but for what it is, since we have so many different Devastators, it is nice to see it in these colors. Is it the one I'd be picking up if I just had to pick one? No, but I do think it's cool. I like the green cutting through the chest. That's nice. And something that I noticed when you showed it off is the scoop is like reversed than it's normal. So it's like a hood. I don't know. That's what I thought of it. And I actually like that with everything that's a little, different. I'm not a big fan of the giant wheels sticking off of the arms. But again, I will say it's okay. He kind of has the opposite of Mecha Invasion on his hips. But at the same time, it doesn't look horrible. All around, I think it's a good figure. I mean, it has my normal complaint of could use more purple. But I would say that about any figure. So I think it's a good rendition of Scrapper. And can I see the head close up? Yeah, and that's a decent Scrapper head too. Yeah, so it's a good little thing. What do you think?
Again, as I started off saying, I love the green. I love the purple. They contrast really well with this being a more mute green. The purple really shines through. I also like how they split up the chest with the green coming in between, and then you see the purple on the shoulder. So it almost looks like he's carrying a backpack, which is good.
I was thinking suspenders, but a backpack is even better.
Yeah, so it actually looks like he's, holding this, and, as you said, it's on different, so it's more like a hood. So I really like this. I think because they did this breakup here, that the purple's not really needed much other places, because it almost looks like you're getting, the purple chest and then more like purple shoulders in essence, because it breaks it up. Granted, could it have used some more purple? Definitely. The tires on the shoulders make it look like he has football pads on.
Okay, yeah.
Don't necessarily like that, but it's fine. The way the wheels store in the back is kind of cool, but I don't really like how this rail just kind of hangs off to the side here.
That's something that I meant to mention. I saw that as well. I feel like that needs to tuck in or just be removed completely. I don't think it would be much of a loss.
Yeah. Definitely on the back, there's a lot of junk in the trunk here. So,
yeah.
You can kind of see. So I don't really like that aspect of it. But I also, as much as I like the red in alt mode, it doesn't really shine through too much. You have to kind of look on the sides, or you can kind of see it in the back of his head there. It doesn't really shine through that much. And I think again, you can kind of see it there on the side. I would have liked to see maybe a little bit more red in here, just because they're doing the red windows and it's so different. I think it would have given it a nice little flair in the bot mode as well.
At least have some maybe red designs on like the purple or something, some tampos or something, just to give it a little bit of a different look.
Because even back here, I mean, it sticks out a little bit, but it's, I don't know, it doesn't shine.
It's not a focal point.
Yeah, but let's talk about articulation on this guy, and we'll start with the feet, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So this does tab down. That wasn't supposed to come off there. But so we don't really get a toe bend. We do get some ankle tiltage there. It's very, very tight. So that's why I'm kind of like struggling to, hold it and turn it as well. We don't really get a knee bend here. But
no knee bend?
I'm sorry, I meant thigh.
Okay.
We do get separated hip skirts. Let's lift these up a little bit there. The leg goes up about that far. Let's move these arms out the way. About that far. We do get a knee bend, and I love the sound of the ratchets. And it's a little bit more than 90 degrees. Does go back all the way there. He can actually probably kick the back of his of the shovel. So good there. I love those ratchets. So full split there. He's entering the Olympics. Going to the hands, and we do get.
Well, before we do that, does he have waist swivel?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, he does.
Ooh, ratcheted. That's nice. Does he have an ab crunch?
And he does have an ab crunch.
Good.
And it's a pretty deep ab crunch.
That's a good one. Yeah. It's not like Fans Hobbies, which is like one click. It's actually a real ab crunch.
Fans Toys? Or you meant
No. Like a Fans Hobby. No, I'm not talking about just in general.
Okay, yeah. It's a deep bend there, and it's all tight, which I love. And can I help you? So with the hands, we do get articulated fingers, and the bottom three are molded together. You do get a bend. And the index finger is, you get a bend in the first digit, and it's tight too. The thumb is on a ball joint. You get the first digit is a bend. There we go. First digit bends, and then you get the second knuckle there.
Oh, okay.
Full weight swivel there on the wrist. We do get bicep rotation. Get a deep bend in the arm there, and it's actually setting down. Get a little angle here, so there we go. So you do get two bends there.
Yeah, you get a double jointed elbow, and it actually has molding underneath, so it doesn't break it up too much.
Yes, I love that aspect of it. There's molding, and decor all over this thing, which is great. You do get, because of the shovel in the back, your hand will touch it, but I mean, if you bring it out, so, and again, full ratchets, and I did show that it does. You can move this back as well if you want, and you can lift the arm up about that far. So, and then again, you can go all the way around, almost, but the backpack gets in the way. With the head, you do get side to side. You get some up. You don't really get too much of a down, I guess about that much. But he can definitely look up, which is good. So I think articulation wise, let me put this back up. Articulation wise, there's a lot to be desired here. I think they did a really good job with the articulation and those ratchets. As you heard the clicking, you can tell that this is going to be a strong support for their combiner.
Yes, I agree. I think the articulation was surprising. I think the quality is better than their Superion, from what we didn't mention that, but I'm assuming it is. The ratchets sound great. Now, I don't think you'll be using a lot of those in combined mode, but I still think that it is. It looks like a good figure so far.
Yeah, and I mean, just look at all the tampos on here. You know, they're pretty much everywhere throughout. On the shoulders, on the tire. Really nice. So I think they did, and I love the bit of yellow here as well. So the chest looks really good. Yeah, I think they did. Oh, put these flaps down. Here's a little bit of red here. I think they did a really good job on the bot mode. So I think let's talk about his weapon. So definitely not a G1 gun here, but I love the way the gun is. I think this black and gold looks really, really good. They actually have a hole in the weapon, so let's get his hands opened up. So there's a little hole right here and a tab, and let's see if I can, there we go. And so just tab it in. He holds the weapon really, really well. So
that's good to see. Sometimes with those tabs, they don't.
Yeah, and even if you don't close his hands,
it's in there.
It's in there. So really good job on this as well. So
all right. Well, let's go through some comparisons, I think, now, right?
Yes, let's do it.
So first, let's start off with probably the most equal, which is the Mecha Invasions Scrapper. So there they are. And that's probably how they actually look. Again, there you go. There's a side-by-side.
Just bring his arm down a little bit.
So what do you think of the two, since you have them both in hand?
I think, and yeah, he's a lot bigger. I like the way this one looks more. I think that this is, how do you say it? This is a fun figure to play with, and it feels like a cheaper figure compared to this, which it is.
I was going to say, which it is.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think the fun factor of taking this out, transforming it, flipping it back and forth, we've talked about that at all the time with these. You get that with this. This is more involved. This is definitely a heavier, bulkier figure, and it's a lot. And I think this looks good. This will look good on a shelf. I don't think you'll have as much fun transforming this back and forth. The transformation isn't as bad as the aerial bots were, but there's a lot of tight joints and things that clip together and stuff, which we'll talk about in bot mode when we get there.
Yeah. So that's those, and I think you have another one to show off. Am I right?
Yes, but you didn't tell me which. What do you think about the two Mecha Invasion?
I mean, honestly, I prefer the Mecha Invasion one just because I like the colors better. But I don't like these feet. I like that one's feet better. I don't like these on this one's hips, but I don't like that on the arms, so they're kind of equal there. So yeah, they're they're good in some ways, bad in the other ways.
Right. So now let's bring in Fans Toys, and this surprised me.
Something's wrong with Fans Toys' leg.
Oh, it is.
Sorry, that was just really weird.
Yeah, I just transformed him back. I've transformed these figures more than I would normally transform my figures. So, yeah, he might even be standing a little bit awkward there a little bit, but this guy is actually bigger than Fans Toys, which shocked me because, again, we've talked about how big this guy is. The thing that I'm okay with is that this doesn't have any background, any lore. They're just making a figure. This one, you know, seemed a little bit thicker than what I saw on G1 Toon. But in terms of bots, I like the way this one looks, but I think this is successful in looking like a new figure, different, you know, same theme of character, but a different character. I think this one shined as well.
Yeah, I think both of them look good. Obviously, if you've watched our channel, you know that I prefer the less Toon accurate, more aesthetic, more, you know, different aesthetics. So I do like Dreamstars better, comparing the two, but I cannot deny how good the other one actually does look. I just prefer Dreamstars look.
Yeah.
They both have kind of the same back kibble. Like, neither one of them cleans up terribly perfectly.
Yeah.
I do like how Dreamstars is black, though, so it kind of fades into the background.
I can see that. It's because it's not as bright. Mm-hmm. It's a highlighter.
Yeah, exactly.
You can see it. But the size of this, like I said, that's what really threw me, was how tall this guy was, and it has some weight to it as well.
Yeah,
which is good. So
we should do a show on if we think fans' toys is overcharging, because if they're the same, it's $100 less. And I am actually still, I think, build-wise, this is a better build. The transformation and everything, this feels, the steps in transforming this feels better than the steps in transforming this. Gotcha. That makes sense. Well, let's compare it with the Toon, just for fun, even though it's not trying to look like that at all. And there's the Toon figure, and there's Dreamstars. I think this has less in common than the Mecha Invasion one.
Yeah, because at least the Mecha Invasion has the same color, green and purple.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is again, as I mentioned, doing its own thing. But I like it. I like that it's doing its own thing, and even though we're looking at it as a Devastator, you know, I think I might call him, you know, bless you, Destruction, or, you know, Terrorizer, Desolator, or Desolate. Yeah, you know, like I'll use the thesaurus and come up with some other words for it. But I think I'm probably more shocked with this one.
Let's hold on to those final thoughts until the end. Let's hold on. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and transform this thing into alt mode. Welcome back. And now let's look at the vehicle mode of this Dreamstar Forklift Warrior, even though he's not a forklift. And Bobby, since you're holding it, what do you think about this?
Well, first let's talk about, I think it looks good. As I mentioned before, I like the colors. I like the red window. I think everything really pops on this. The tires, you know, move, so I won't go into articulation. Thoughts. I like that it has a little bit of, you know, deco here, with some caution, but, you know, that's pretty much all that you're gonna get. I like the details, you know, coming up on the stairs. It's a very functional looking forklift, or tractor, whatever. Forklift Warrior makes me think of forklifts now. So
yeah, I think it comes together really nice. It really cleans up. Now, can that shovel go down a little bit because it looks a little weird being so high up?
Yes.
Okay, so good. Okay. You just had it. That looks a lot more natural. I think it looks good, and the colors, like you said, are very nice. I think I said this on one of our shows recently. I just like neon green better. The red looks really good, contrasted with that dark metallic green. I love the giant tires. They did a good job on this. And the quality does seem better than their planes, so I'm happy to see that too. Yeah, think it's a well-detailed all mode.
Now, all good things that you pointed out. It wouldn't be a Bobby figure if there wasn't a couple of issues. The first thing that I don't really like, and it's getting better, but these little rubber handles, they plug in to this little hole right here. Oops, if I can get it, there we go. And surprising, like initially they were popping out all the time. Now they're actually staying in a little bit better. So that was a gripe I had initially. Now my gripe is underneath. You see, these are supposed to peg in, and they're die cast, so they have some heft to it, and they're supposed to peg in. There's 2 here. There's also a slot here. So the slot on the die cast is supposed to peg in here. There's 2 little notches on each end that are supposed to peg in here, and it doesn't, unless I did something wrong with my transformation. It, like, this one stays for the most part. This one though, it will not stay. Like, you heard it tab in, and of course now it's going to make me look like a liar. Of course it's going to make me look like a liar. But clearly you saw when I turned it over that they were hanging out. If it rolls, and let's see if I can get a little move a little bit here. It does roll perfectly fine, and they're still tabbed in. Oh, I'm so mad. Off video, it was like falling off and everything. So, but that's good. I heard it. Yeah, it fell off. I didn't do it myself, but
you sure about that?
Yeah, I didn't hit it, but keep my hand here and everything. But yeah. So that's my only issue with this so far. Transformation is pretty involved. This piece, this back portion here, getting all this tabbed in together. The first time I've only transformed it twice. It was, a little bit of maneuvering and kind of going back to get everything to peg in. You heard that?
Mm-hmm. That was the second one.
That's what. Yeah, the same one. The same fell out again. Again, that part was a little weird. This piece, this front part, there's things you have to get aligned and angle them. Not bad, but it was first time I was just like, oh, okay, I got to turn it a little bit more to make it, and so it was a little bit of trial and error there to get it together. But again, once it's together, everything tabs in very, very well, except for, again, this piece here. And, there's also weapon storage here.
Oh, that's neat.
And there's a magnet there. So it's like, grab something off my desk here. But yeah, so the weapon storage is here as well. So I think it looks great though. And it's...
I have to agree. I think they did a good job for what they're going for.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now, do you want to put it up against tune accuracy?
Let's do Mecha Invasion first. So
okay.
I'm going to bring me back in just so you guys can see it against Mecha Invasion. And I do like the colors of this one better. It's a more traditional Devastator, but I cannot deny that it does look good in the with the red and stuff. But I do like all the deco on the Mecha Invasion. I think it really brings it to life. But again, the railing and all that looks really cool. And I like the size of the wheels on that one.
And just for comparison, so we can
for size, yes.
For size, you can kind of see
should be back here.
There is a pretty significant difference in size. It's a lot bigger.
Yeah. Which would make sense with their prices. It's double the price, more than double the price.
Yeah.
And it's heavier too, right?
It is definitely heavier. It's definitely heavier. And so they do, again, I think these two alt modes are in line with each other. More so than what we saw. You know, of course, they're different in bot mode, which we saw already. But I think these two, out of all the Devastator pieces that we've had so far, I think are in line with each other more so than, say, the fans' toys.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait till that X-Transbot Scrapper comes out, because that's probably going to be more in line with that one. So,
but since we're talking about fans' toys, I guess we can go ahead and make sure I don't drop anything. We can bring this one in, and we can see, again, totally different look. Let me bring this shovel down a little bit there. Totally different look. You can see the top. Again, it's the alt modes. They both clean up very well in terms of not a lot of kibble. The gun actually just tabs in here, and it just fell off. But you can see that totally different looks on these. But size-wise, they're, and that piece dropped down again. They're about the same size, give or take.
Yeah, comparing the two of them, in my personal opinion, Fans Toys looks like just a green blob, and this one actually looks like a vehicle. But I understand what they're going for.
Yeah, this is definitely, again, another company doing their own thing, which is fine. I think that's what I like. I like the fact that each company is doing something a little bit different, because I would have actually hated to have 8 or 9
Tune-accurate Devastators.
Tune-accurate Devastators. Yeah, I think it would.
You're already going to have too many. You're going to have 3, which is still a lot.
Yeah, but this gives us a little bit of choices here. So, yeah. So here's the bot mode the alt mode. I think it looks good.
Let's look at it compared to the Tune.
There we go.
Even though we know it's not going to look the same at all. That's what it's trying to emulate. They're not trying to. They're doing their own thing, but it's still kind of interesting to see how far this design has changed in 40 years.
That's very true. And again, there's just, looking at it now, I mean, look how smooth those wheels are on the G1. Like, where were you? You were driving on the street. You weren't doing any type of real work. But yeah, I think this is definitely not, if you're looking for G1, not a candidate. I think you're more in line with the X-Transbots, more in line with the Fans Toys and the MMC versions. Again, this Mecha Invasion and the others, even though we've only talked about this and Mecha Invasion so far,
and Fans Toys.
I meant in terms of being not G1,
different.
That are different. Yeah, we have it. Fans Toys.
Studio 01, and I think that's the only other one that's doing their own thing. Those 3 that are going to be kind of different. Oh, and then King Toys.
And well, who knows when that's coming out?
And who knows what that's going to look like?
Hopefully, no time soon. For my wallet's sake, but
a box set for Bobby to buy.
Oh God, that would be nice. The other thing that stood out is this piece here, which it does kind of tuck in. I was thinking that this was like a smokestack or something like that. I don't know these types of vehicles, but I was looking at it that way, as like a smokestack potentially. But again, I like this alt mode.
Yeah, I think it's good. Well, with that, let us know what you think of the alt mode down below, and we'll be right back with our final thoughts.
Yes. So we're back, and I think it's time for us to recap our thoughts on Dreamstar Toys version of Scrapper. James, you go first since I actually have it in hand.
So from what I see, I think it looks good. If you want something a little bit different, but don't want something as simple as Mecha Invasion, if you want Prowlistator, this is your toy right here, and it's good. It's not bad. It's not horrible. It is what it is. It's different, and I do appreciate that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Would I pick it up? Probably not. There's other more stylized Devastators that I like better than this one, but I do think it is nice.
Yeah, I must admit that I think this is probably towards the bottom half of my view of the Devastator Wars so far. It's a good figure, don't get me wrong. I just think that coming out right now with all the others, it's a little bit, I think it's going to get overshadowed. I think it doesn't hit the G1 mark at all. Not a minus, but you know, that some of the others do G1 better. The colors, I love the colors. The alt mode does a decent alt mode, but I think there's some others that either are G1 or they're really popping with a difference in the alt mode, and that's kind of doing it for me. So this one just, I think it's middle of the road right now. And again, haven't had all of them in hand, but that's where I think I'm looking so far.
I would agree. So we still got to make maybe some parameters for grading these. So if you have any suggestions, go ahead and put them down below. But I think this is an okay figure. And let us know down below what you think. If you do have this as well, what you would grade it.
Yeah. So I guess out of, I would give this in bot mode, I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
In alt mode, I would give it a 7 out of 10 as well.
Oh wow! I thought you'd be a little higher in alt mode. So,
no. What about you?
I mean, it's hard because I don't have it in hand. I'd give the alt mode. I mean, for what it's trying to do, it does it well. I'd probably give it a 9 because it looks like what it's supposed to look like. It has rails. It has the red. Bot mode, 7. I would give it a 7. It's not perfect, but it's decent.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I really like the alt mode. Just saying that for what they were doing, they did it well.
Yeah. So, so stay tuned. We will have another episode of these Devastator Wars. Man, this is a lot.
We have a few lined up, and we'll be back with your news in the meantime before another one of these drops. So stay tuned.
Yes. And as always, to all debates and Devastator Wars are won. See you next time.